Hi, I'm Mary Hood, and I'm back again to give you a handful of Christmas hope. See my Christmas cup? This cup was given to me, I don't know, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, I don't know. It was given to me a long time ago by a very dear friend. It's got a snowman. There's snow on the ground right now where I am, just a smattering. But today, I don't have coffee or tea or hot cocoa. I have warm apple cider with a few drops of cinnamon, and it's very good. And I bought this apple cider at, well, it's a store, but they get their apple cider from the apple orchards. It's fresh. It's costly. And it's sweet. Christmas is full of flavors, isn't it? Christmas has flavors, and it has all the senses. It takes in all of your senses: taste and smell, touch, sight. I know right after Thanksgiving, they started putting up the garland on my street in my town, on the main street. And as I drove down the street, I quietly, I just wasn't really quietly, I was alone in my car, and I just started singing, "It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas." And then I wondered if that was a discriminating song if I sang it in public somewhere. I don't know. Don't know what's discriminating now, do we, in this world of ours? I didn't mean to discriminate anybody. It looked like Christmas. And I was just singing about it. And I thought, well, if it looks like something else, I'll sing something else. But it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Because that's what people see when they see Christmas. They see lights. They see red. Red. I wore my red sweater today. Got a red cup. Yesterday, I needed a new journal because my other one's getting out, running out. I bought a red journal. It's a Christmas color, red. Anyway, I want to start this. I want to start this with a psalm, and it's not a Christmas psalm at all. But I woke up with it this morning. I woke up with it. And it's a psalm that we're studying. And last week we were studying it, but I didn't go to the study. I was doing something else. I had other things to do. It was my day off, but I had a full day, and I said, I'm not going. I got a full day. I can't go. I got a lot to do. So I asked them what psalm we were on, and they said, well, we're doing the Psalms of Ascents, but we're not going really in order all the time. Anyway, we're going in the same direction, but I just wanted to make sure. So anyway, Psalm 127. Unless the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain who build it. Unless the Lord guards the city, the watchmen keep awake in vain. It is vain for you to rise up early. I'm an early riser. To retire late. I don't retire late. To eat the bread of painful labors. For he gives to his beloved even in his sleep. That I can attest to. Behold, children are a gift of the Lord. The fruit of the womb is a reward. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior, so are the children of one's youth. How blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. They will not be ashamed when they speak with their enemies in the gate. Somebody told me this week, they went to the Bible study, and she said to me, well, your children are a gift from the Lord. You have a quiver full, And I said, well, that's one thing. They do make you quiver. Children make you quiver. Anyway, I woke up with that. I woke up actually with the first verse of that psalm. Unless the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain who build it. And I started thinking about that, and I started thinking about capacity. And apples, do you know how they make apple cider? It's kind of like how you make grape juice or jelly. It's like how you make wheat for bread. It's how you make a diamond. Or how a diamond is made. It has to go through has to go through a lot of pain. And I was thinking especially about the apples, because I make applesauce in the fall sometimes, and I got some apples this year from a friend who has an apple tree, a couple of them, and they were organic apples. Forgot the name of them. But he gave me a lot of apples from his tree, and I made applesauce, and I made some pies. And I peeled them, and I cut them up, and I cooked them. And I strained them. An apple is grown for one thing, one purpose. It's for food. It's to be consumed. It's to be consumed. Well, we do a lot of consuming, don't we? We consume others sometimes. We take everything we can get from them so we can live, so we can survive. We take everything we can get. I want to share a little secret with you. When I first began this journey of faith, the Holy Spirit ministered something to me. And I've shared this before with many people, and some people just go, she's crazy. Think what you want. That's your choice. But I remember it well. I remember it well. Something had gone wrong in my life, and I was all upset. And I said, I got mad at myself for being so upset. And then I quieted myself and I said, Lord, I want you to be everything. And the Lord almost immediately ministered back to me and said, you can't say I'm everything until you have nothing. That was 45 years ago. And it hasn't left me. Those words and the whole situation surrounding it hasn't left me. And this morning, as I think about capacity, and losing everything, I think about Jesus Christ coming to earth as the little baby in the manger. And for 30 years of his life, he had to learn. He had to learn how to be human and to set aside the glory. He had to set it aside because he was human. It's like losing it. It's like, but it grew a capacity to be human and to allow people to consume you without losing who they are and who they've been made to be, who they've been created as. I'm really at peace right now because I know God has carved a capacity. You can't have capacity unless it's carved out. You can't, it's got to take a chisel. And people are at different capacities. You know, you can be a thimble. A thimble's a thimble, and a thimble's a thimble all its life. Only holds this much. You have to be willing one has to be willing. It's not what you want, it's what you're willing God to do. It's not what you want. I don't want to do a lot of things. God doesn't want me to lay my life down. He doesn't want me to do what I don't want to do. He wants me to be willing to let him create a capacity to hear him and to trust him. And I'll tell you, as I think about it right now, I've been a Christian for 47 years, almost 48 years it'll be. I feel like I finally am learning a little bit. I feel like I'm trusting God for the very first time. I'm trusting God for the very first time in my life. And it hurts to want something and not get it. It hurts a little bit less to be willing to set it aside for something that's costly. There's so much more I could say about this, but it's just a handful. It's really a thimbleful. But I love my cinnamon. I love the flavors. And I love Christmas. Unless the Lord builds the house, they that do it in vain. This is my house. What house are you building? What house are you letting God build? This is my house. And by the way, he's building a mansion for me. I have thoughts about what it's going to be made out of. I'm not a teacher. I'm just a follower of Christ. Have a nice day. Have some cider.